Good afternoon and welcome back to St George's Park, Burton-upon-Trent, as we get set for the second chapter of Day 3. It's a double header between Great Britain and Ireland. Very interesting matches to start with. The USA still unable to get victory. They're now 0 from 5. France back on the winning reins though with that big victory over their Irish counterparts. Let's get some reaction from in the camp. Madison Hughes, the USA captain, was talking to Rob, but first I caught up with French star Shannon Izar. Shannon Izar, thank you for joining us after that Ireland win. Good to get back to winning ways after losing to them yesterday.
Yes, it's ever better to win a game like this, and especially against such a good team like Ireland. So yes, it's a good thing.
How have you enjoyed this weekend? Good to get back on the pitch and play other people.
Yes, it's very interesting to come back to the game because we train for months and months without playing. So playing such those good teams like Great Britain and Ireland, it's very good for us to make things in place. So
good, yeah,
interesting.
And very important for France because you have the repechage coming up next month. Important to get some game time so you have some confidence in your play.
Yes, that's true. We have to improve every time. Like here, it's not perfect. We know that, so we have to improve to get ready for the qualification.
And important for the group that you have some youngsters coming in. You've been playing a long time, I know. We see each other on the 7th circuit. Lots of familiar names, but you have some youngsters coming into the group too to just keep that energy.
Yes, we have to have new people because like you say, I'm not young, and
I wouldn't say you were old.
I heard it.
Experience.
So, yes, and so we want to share our experience to others. So it's important to have a bigger team to have different choices on the pitch.
And you okay with the weather? I guess it's similar to Paris, no?
Yes, it's similar.
Good. Well, it's great to have you here. Thank you for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed this weekend, irrespective of the results almost.
Thank you. It's rather a pleasure.
Madison Hughes, USA captain. People will be looking at these results and wondering perhaps what's gone wrong with the USA, but how do you review your performances so far?
I mean, especially after that last one, pretty disappointed. I think after the first couple games, obviously the results didn't go away, but I think we were able to look at it and say, actually, all the structures and stuff were actually in a good place. And then we were making critical mistakes that were kind of 14-point swings almost. But the first game yesterday and that first game today, I think really need to take a hard look at ourselves and make a change because, frankly, not good enough. And yeah, if one or two games against good teams, you come off the wrong way, you can maybe take some positive out of that. But when it goes wrong and wrong again, I think we need to look ourselves in the mirror and make some adjustments.
So some difficult conversations, but I guess many teams here have different outcomes they want from this. Obviously, some pending qualification. You guys have already qualified. So what for you is the real purpose of these types of games and tournaments?
Yeah, so to take a step back, it is about growing and improving and getting better. And no one wins Olympic medals here this weekend, but it's definitely we want to take a positive step forward. And again, in some of those early games, I think we're able to look at that and say, actually, we are building quite well. After that last one, it's a bit hard to take some positives out of that. And so I think really looking for a good response out of the guys in this last game we've got coming later on.
Now, you're English, you know this can happen with the weather here, but certainly back in the USA, some big names are there. You know, people that will be well versed with the 7 Series know how the firepower is, and bringing Ebner back in as well. How are things building the wider context of the squad?
Yeah, we got a few guys with some little injuries and stuff like that. Perry and Flau coming back from more major ones. So we've definitely got some fantastic players at home. But really, you'd hope that the guys who are here, we're not looking back and saying, oh, when so-and-so gets back, we're all going to be better. It's, hey, we've got a very talented squad, and even if you lose a couple guys, and obviously fantastic players who definitely add some unique elements, but the guys who are here are really good players too, and we need everyone to step up, because it's not about the 5 guys or the 7 guys. It's you really need 12, 15 guys to compete with those top teams. And so, yeah, really would like a response from the guys who are here.
And got to ask you, as a captain of the US team as well, when someone like Nate Ebner with his history and background comes into it, how does that change the environment?
Yeah, I mean, Nate's a consummate professional. I think one of the massive things that he's always done is, even from when he first joined us back in 2016, it wasn't, hey, I'm here, I'm Nate Ebner, I'm a superstar, here we go. He was just a hard worker who was willing to put his head down and earn the guys' respect. And I think he's really come in and done that again. And it's about, he's obviously got really lots of experience in high performance environments, and there's a lot of things that we can all learn from him. But a lot of it is, hey, I'm just here as another guy, I'm going to work really hard and do everything I can to earn your respect. And he's always done that. And I think that's something that every single one of us can learn from, that no matter what you've accomplished, no matter what you've done, when you get out on the training field, when you get out on the match field, it's 7 guys together working hard for one another.
Cool. Well, the rest of the tournament. Thanks for your time, Madison. Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob.
Interesting chat there with the Eagles skip. What did you make of that, Rob?
It was very open and honest for a start. Refreshing to hear those types of words from Madison Hughes, talking about the disappointment they've found as a team. Must be difficult in situations knowing you are missing some of the bigger names, perhaps, who have very big personalities as well as big players. But there are no excuses from him, which is what you want. You know, you want to try and address what went wrong. They weren't happy with this morning, and I'm sure they're going to come out later with a point to prove. But let's not take anything away from this Irish team. They have been fantastic all tournament.
Certainly have. And now they're up against the host, GB. Let's take a look at the 2 lineups, starting with the selection from well, we'll come up with the right names for you just in a minute, but it's going to be fascinating to see how these 2 set up, because if you were with us earlier on this weekend, there was just 5 points between the teams started this tournament on day 1 and 4 points yesterday. That is a real indicator of just how close this contest should be.
And it comes down to those little battles as well, doesn't it? It's what we like to see in the world of 7s. The Nortons against Conroys, Mitchells and Dardis, albeit not in this game, but certainly really is a tough ask of this Team GB team. You can see the stars on show for the Irish. Terry Kennedy, once again, one of the consummate performers throughout the whole weekend. And that guy in the middle of the shot, Aaron Sexton, Irish schools champion. He is 10.42 for the 100 metres. That is rapid with a capital R.
There is the starting 7 for GB. Dan Bibby will be a key cog, along with Ollie Lindsay-Haig there getting the starts. Dan Norton gets a start as well, and McFarlane and Norton wide on the wings with Harry Glover inside. That is going to be a very important axis for the way GB play.
I think it's quite interchangeable as well, which is why it's exciting, and casting the eye forward to selection perhaps for this Olympic Games. You need that versatility, because 7's now multifaceted. You need to have a real skill set across the board, but be able to play in different positions. And the likes of McFarlane, he can cover 2 or 3, which is pivotal.
There's the Ireland selection from Anthony Eddy. Kennedy back in the mix, and Conroy having had the game out first up this morning, and Sexton maybe a little heavy to call them the holy triumvirate, but I think Conroy, Kennedy and Sexton would scare many a defence on the 7 circuit.
Let's not get away from this, Wardy. Let's put it out there. When it goes Kennedy, Sexton and Conroy as a back 3 in their back line, that is one of the most potent in World Sevens, and I'm calling that. That is not only frightening, it's exciting.
The words of Rob Vickerman, and we shall hear Vickerman's choice for the GB lineups. He has made them, folks, so join us at 3:45 and you can actually see who Rob Vickerman
They're in pencil.
thinks
Pencil
no. You see who Vickerman thinks should get the ticket to Tokyo. That's 3:45 UK time. There's the table as it stands with that immaculate record from the hosts at the moment, but Ireland really up on their coattails, albeit of course having played the extra game this morning. This is the last game of this tournament for Anthony Eddy's crew. There's what they've been through thus far, and you can see 33-0, as emphatic a performance as you could wish to see, albeit against a very disappointing Eagles outfit.
Zoom straight to that, don't you? 33-0 against the USA team. Comprehensive, and actually it shows how good they are in terms of keeping the ball, retaining the ball, and getting those danger men in possession. That's what we want to see in this game, certainly.
Yeah, it was a tight tussle yesterday. It was even tighter the day before when GB and Ireland locked horns. How's it going to work out this afternoon? Wherever you're joining us from, a very good afternoon to you from Staffordshire, just outside Burton-upon-Trent here at St George's Park, the FA Centre. Normally the round ball, but getting used to the oval ball on their hallowed turf, and it is beautiful turf, it has to be said. The surroundings here, 330 acres of lush green pasture.
On the Gary Lineker pitch as well.
That's made your day, didn't it?
It did get a million engagements, Wardy. That's
when
pretty
he
significant.
retweeted a Rob Vickerman post, Vickerman thought he was in 7th heaven.
7-7.
I set it up, you hit it. Right, Adam Jones, the referee, just waiting for GB to step up. That man there, Dan Bibby, this is a big game for him. Haven't seen an awful lot of him this weekend.
No, he's got a lot of credit in the bank, Dan Bibby. Say it's not been a tournament where he's stepped up as he usually does, but take nothing away from the fact it's been against the opposition who know how much of a threat he is, to try and shut down his space and counter his aggressiveness in defence. That's one of the things that sets Dan Bibby apart. He might be a back, but plays like a gnarled forward.
A gnarled forward.
He's Northern Ward, he's pretty tough.
Oh, is he? Right, I'll take your word on that.
He's so tough, in fact, his son carries a hammer around as a comforter. That's about as northern as you get.
If you don't understand what Rob just said, have a look on Mission Possible. Some of those great videos they've done on there. The interviews are lovely. None more so than that one with the two dads now, Bibby and Mitchell. And there is the man himself. Dad doing it to set up Alex Davis. Max McFarland with no number on his back. Ollie Lindsay-Haig with no number on his back. Dan Norton with no number on his back, but we know who they are because they're such well-known Sevens names. And Norton goes past his man, goes past another. You give Norton a sniff of an opportunity and he is gone.
Oh my word. As he walks back, he's going to see Jordan Conroy with his head hanging, because that is very much sensei against the grasshopper.
I love it.
And Norton has just absolutely rinsed him. That's the threat he possesses, not only what he is about ball in hand, but even preceding it, because you know you're up against one of the best attackers on the planet with a rugby ball in his hand. And take a look at it. He squares him up, that inside and out, and then as soon as Conroy plants his feet, you're not going to tackle anybody with just your hands like that. And as he walks back, he's thinking, yep, he got me there. That's 1-0 Norton.
How many times have we seen Norton cross the whitewash on the 7th circuit?
And it's amazing footwork when Norton just squares him up. This step here on the inside, the in there and the out.
And he's smiling. He's smiling all the way to the line.
No, that's what he does. It's demoralising, as inspirational as it can be.
Well,
You're the receiving end of it.
We talk about Jazz Joyce having that smile on her face when she plays. Norton is the male version. Bibby changing the tactics. Sexton set things up for Kennedy and co. As they try and test out the blue line for the first time in this game. Tackle coming in from Lindsay Haig just to stem the flow a little bit, but here comes Conroy. Di Carpentier's showing a good turn of pace there to nab the speedster. Cutting back is Kennedy, just losing it in the contact. The rain showers have been intermittent today, but they have been quite heavy, so there will be a film of water on top of the grass, and as a consequence that ball will be a little bit slippery.
There's good defence from GB there. You know about the threats, we've mentioned them enough, but when Conroy's got it, you've got to be covering. Di Carpentier back in the world of sevens after a stint in 15s. That was really good defence from the big man. They look for these mismatches, these fast lads, but he really stepped up there.
Bibby spins left, McFarland outside him looking to feed Norton Conroy. Shall I go, shall I not? And this time he makes the hit and gets the reward. 1-1.
1-1, that's it, chalk it up. We need like a secondary little chart going on here, don't we, for the Norton Conroy matchup, but that was really good defence this time round. And it becomes much more around him being set ready for it. You can see him changing, looking up, gets that shoulder a lot closer, and Norton panics a little bit there with that ball coming toward him.
Cribbin with the feed. Kennedy. The influence that Kennedy has on this Ireland team cannot be underestimated. Top try scorer coming into day 3 of the men's tournament. 4 tries already on the board. Sexton just taking that wider channel. Glover unable to get to him. Good tackle from Norton on Conroy this time. And the ball is there for Lindsay Haig. Di Carpentier, known to his mates as Chippy for obvious reasons. McFarland goes a wandering, goes through 2 tackles. Conroy comes back to nab him. That was an important lasso from the Irish speedster, but GB really on the front foot. Got numbers out to the left, the passing not accurate enough. Lindsay Haig, chip and chase from the former Quins man. Good recovery. And Ireland forced to go from their own 22. Carpentier doing very well to pull that one in. Bibby with a little show and go. The feed out to McFarland. McFarland dances past 2. Pulled up just short, but almost not quite for GB. That is a very good pickup from Sexton on the floor of a wet ball. My goodness me, how did he manage that?
Well, there's a real step up intensity in that last 2 minutes of play there. First and foremost, Charlie Tarp gives Norton another one, 2-1 up now against Conroy on this nearer side, but then that's where the big lad came into his own. Number 5, Di Carpentier, turning ball over for fun. McFarland with a big sit down, then off he goes. Conroy tracking back. Adept in defence. And then a little bit of turnover city, wasn't it? Plenty of them going on.
It's going to be Sean Cribbin with the put-in, so Ireland with a chance to get themselves out of the red zone.
Well, it could be a good kicking option here as well, downtown.
Kennedy,
that would be a real foot race.
Kennedy not going for that option, and asking his mates to try and drive their way out of the danger area. Kennedy trying to get outside Glover, and now once again it's Norton Conroy. This time Conroy's gone. Norton comes back for a second nibble, gets his man. Does he get the ball? No, penalty to Ireland, and they go again. Kennedy tries to put Conroy in the corner. Has he done it this time? Yes, I think he has.
Oh, that's absolutely quality. Norton can complain all he wants, but his hand's clearly down at that breakdown. That's what the referees are looking for, and you couldn't get a better picture. Thomas completely correct with that call, but that is Conroy flying. Norton Conroy gets round the outside of him. Norton manages to track him, slaps the hand down, gets the tackle made, then gets back on his feet, but his hands touch the ground, at which point is correctly penalised there. And then, no hanging around, Kennedy gets the ball back, taps it, Conroy's back on his feet, and they go back blind. Wonderful play, ball in two hands, bit of deception. Glover can do nothing but check out the finish. In the air, thrown around, Conroy still gets it done.
So it's Norton 5, Conroy 5, the conversion giving Ireland the lead on the scoreboard in these early stages really of this game. This is a contest that was always going to go to the wire, and even though we're just coming up to half time, you know that there's plenty more to come within this game from both sides. Glover against Sexton, trying to get the offload through the two Irish defenders, not quite working out for him that time. And there's the half-time whistle from Adam Jones. Well, we knew it was going to be tight and tense. You wouldn't want to put money on either side right now, I would suggest.
That's just cracking sevens, isn't it? We're seeing it both sides of the ball, which is most important. That commitment and endeavour over the ball, just as much as seeing that man in shot do his thing. That battle with Norton, you just need 50,000 people around here to appreciate how good that is. But both players showing their quality on a sevens field.
We can talk all we want about the weather, and yes, I know we have been doing a little bit this weekend, but in conditions that they don't know what they're going to be like in Tokyo, and of course Ireland not sure as yet whether they're going to be there. They've got the repechage event in Monaco, and I'm sure the conditions there will be very different from Staffordshire, but you have to cope with what you're playing in.
And this is what we love to see, the one-on-one of the guys that don't often get the room and space in 15s, but in sevens you got 15 metres to play with, and it's a lovely story going on. There's his little Turnham Green celebration. Shout out to the family when he does so. And who would not want to play outside of Harry Glover? One of the best exponents of the offloading game. Almost seems wrong to show that one twice, really unfair to Conroy, because he levels up the score back round this side.
Yeah, he gets his own back. We have mentioned, I think, a couple of times that this is a narrower pitch than maybe they used to, so the wingers haven't had a lot of opportunity throughout this weekend, but my goodness me, when they get it, most of the time they take it. Here we go.
Yeah, it actually precedes that, so the wingers, obviously with the same amount of space they'd normally get, but it's the passing that gets the ball there, so the two passes wider. When the wingers get the ball, they find that the defenders are on them much quicker than perhaps another couple of metres, which doesn't sound a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, that is a lot, certainly with 7 men on the pitch. And that was really good play. Kennedy just comes away every game he plays with a boost in his credit.
What a finish in the corner. And the conversion, of course, we didn't make much of it, but the conversion has made the difference to the scoreboard. Couple of changes. I can see Aaron O'Sullivan is off the bench.
Ready? GB.
Else we've got Alex Kendall also, and Ian Fitzpatrick still there. So let's see how this one's going to pan out. Davis with a little offload, just didn't fall into the hands of Lindsay Haig on that occasion, but the ball is still there, is it? Max McFarlane unable to get surety of handling on that one.
And just one thing to touch on there, man with a scrum out again, Di Carpentier. You can see how beneficial it is having a big man in your team, not only the restarts, but what we saw in the first half with him winning those turnover balls, stealing the ball back from the opposition, if you like. So how important it is for this GB team, certainly as one of the smaller teams across the board, to have that big dominant guy up front, traditionally a back rower in 15s, or perhaps a combative centre. You need that bit of abrasion.
Kennedy goes a roaming, but falls into contact with teammates and opposition alike. Still there for the Irish. Fitzpatrick. Release there to Gavin Mullin. Mullin showed well over the course of this weekend. Got a try on his debut, of course. One of the 7 debutants within this group. Invaluable experience, especially ahead of that repechage. Release out to O'Sullivan. The Leinster lad going into the contact. What was the call there?
I think that was high. I think you've got to be so careful with these types of collisions, and As soon as you saw it, Craig Evans put the arm out with his flag. That's perhaps lucky not to be a little bit more than that.
Was that Alex Davis?
It was, yeah.
On that side. So Ireland setting themselves out. Full width of the pitch. Conroy waits on the right flank. Is he going to get it? Kendallin goes head down. The release is there for Kennedy. Mullin with a little stutter step. Glover not buying it. And GB have got the ball. Now, are they going to go from deep? Will they put boot to ball? It comes off the post. Who's going to react first? Was that a forward pass? I think
he sort of carried it in, so he put it down. 5 metre scrum Ireland ball. So again, seeing here just how teams attack differently in the game of sevens. This is on their try line stuff, and Lindsay Haig first thought is, how do I get the ball wide? Little does he realise there's two big posts in front of him when he tries to make the pass. So Davies scrambling somewhat. You'd think you'd see them. They are massively enwrapped with these pads, Red Bull emblazoned on them.
Well, it's put Ireland in the driving seat right now, early into this second half, and a chance of a second score.
See Kennedy right behind the scrum here. Clever place to be, because Bibby's already committed to the right hand side of this scrum. So Norton Bibby covering the right, and Kennedy with the ability to go either way. If it's clean, expect Kennedy to be under the sticks.
Kennedy feeding Mullin, squeezing in, the arm goes up from the referee, and Ireland go another 5 points clear. First phase strike from the men in green.
It's such a difficult place to defend because you have to gamble a little bit in terms of where you're standing, and as soon as the ball was passed wide, it's a one-on-one, no matter how far McFarlane slides into that. Mullin's always going to get the benefit of using the St George's turf to slide in, and what a slide it was.
5.9 for style from Gavin Mullin. 5 points on the board.
You can't go high nines for that, Wardy. We've got a strong offering, a best dive so far. I'd say that was like a 7.6.
Okay.
Like to see some air as well.
Sorry, Ebenezer. Right, there's some air on the ball from that restart from Dardis, and GB now have to find a response into the final 3 minutes or so of this game. Plenty of time, of course, in this format. Lindsay Haig changes the angle of attack with that chip and chase. Scholes is back. Good work from Rory Scholes. His team needed him safe and secure on that one. O'Sullivan.
That's another one of those high shots, so difficult when O'Sullivan runs with this absolute massive arm heading towards you. Davies slaps it down, but because he does so, the tackle then goes across the top of his shoulders. It's known as a seatbelt tackle, but actually I can't think of many other ways of stopping them when they're running like that.
Dardis taking his time, understandably. Ireland in the box seat now, going into the final couple of minutes of this game, and what a big feather in the cap it would be if they can hold on to this lead.
It's a rare thing to see a penalty being kicked for a line-out. Not happened much across the whole 3 days here, but if this is a clean line-out ball, once again we say you got the powerhouse out wide with Conroy. Just try and get him the ball in a bit of space.
And another penalty.
She kicked a touch again.
Dardis just biding his time.
So here, this form really interesting. They've got Scholes in the middle and O'Sullivan are the big bullocking runners. All they're looking to do is to try and get the platform midfield to get that space out wide.
There it is. O'Sullivan, though, holds on for too long, gets slightly isolated, and here's GB's opportunity to get up the other end.
Oh, big raps for Davis there. That was brilliant breakdown play.
9 point difference means, of course, 2 scores if they're going to take the win. But Ireland will make sure that it's no easy travail up into their 22, that's for sure. Bibby. Glover. Mullin sticking to his task. See Ireland setting out their stall on the GB 22. No easy exit for the home side. De Carpentier. Something of a sidestep. Glover. Norton comes in looking for work, looking for an opportunity, but the ball goes to Scholes. Ooh, look dramatic as they fall to earth. O'Sullivan, that little inside ball to Scholes. This is well worked. Mullin outside to Fitzpatrick. Almost but not quite for Ireland. Well, the penalty goes against them, but really it doesn't matter. They're playing in the right area of the pitch now. Last Chance Saloon has just closed its doors on GB. Harry Glover is going to try and put something on Conroy, coming back to get the new Stade Francais centre. The little offload is there for Ollie Lindsay-Haig. Dardis, wow, you're not having an easy run in there, son. And the ball does eventually end up in the hands of Alex Davis to get the try, but it's of no consequence to the outcome of this game.
And look at the effort these players have put in. Every single player in shock, gasping for air. There is no feeling like this. You cannot replicate on a training field or a gym. It's just pure darkness. But it's brilliant, isn't it? Harry Glover has brought so much into this Sevens team. On the cusp of being an Olympian, but he is surrounded by quality as well. Alex Davis, as much as this looks like he's not enjoying it, will be thoroughly loving every minute. A little bit of a jump at the tackle, you could argue, but Glover just goes. He gets the pick up, has the balance and wherewithal to know who's around him. Conroy's chasing, but that ball on the inside, Lindsay-Haig, you'd have thought he'd have got there himself, but he eases up a little bit with a step, gives Dardis a chance to tackle him, and then luckily backed up by that man Davis. A support play, a point of difference by that man. And it's not going to be easy to pick a 12 from these guys across the board. There's going to be massive disappointment, but when you see the quality that some of them can offer, it's an exciting prospect to see these people go out and represent their multiple nations out in Tokyo.
Well, it's goodbye to the Irishmen, and what a weekend they've had. They really have shown themselves in superb colours. They started their tournament with a 5-point loss to GB. They lost to them yesterday by 4, but they've won by 2 points today, and now they can go to Monaco with their heads high, their confidence full, and surely they are going to be a real threat to the other teams in that tournament, and with a very, very good chance of getting their ticket to Tokyo.
Absolutely, and I think teams will be watching this all around the world thinking, right, well, we had France down there as definite team to go hard, but you look at the likes of this Irish team, not quite sure what the entity of Tonga will be. Samoa clearly going to be up for it, but Ireland, for me, looking right up there as favourites for Monaco. They've been building and building. Their squad of players so strong, and that is very exciting for Irish rugby.
That's the table as it stands. Of course, the outcome of that final game will dictate who ends up top of the log, but it's kind of immaterial anyway, because it's all about how the performances have developed. And Anthony Eddy will no doubt be delighted with the way that his men's 7 have been able to develop through the course of this weekend. Now it's going to be the women's 7 on view. Same contest, different players. Great Britain showing well through the course of this weekend. At different times they lost a close one to France on day 1. Didn't have quite such a good day on day 2. And then finished with a 26-7 victory in this contest.
GB team already starting with purpose, and they're trying to get their big guns in the game early, get that possession all important in midfield, and just carrying hard. Really has been a test in 3 days. Seldom they get a chance to play such level of rugby for so long.
Rona Lloyd showing us what she's been showing us all weekend, that you give her the opportunity. She has a chink of light through that door in the wide channels, and she will take it. She is one who's really put her hand up over the course of these games so far.
She's been brilliant, hasn't she? I also love the fact that she runs like she's on the back straight of her 400 metres as well, which is always head back tilting. But she's got some pickup, she's got some gas. And that little kick through, the fence out ready and waiting, but she knows what it's going to take. It's a real different dimension to have Rona Lloyd on the left-hand side, and ideally a bit of potency on the right with Kwanzaa. Really nice balance in their play, and for me, she's dead set ready. Unfortunately, doesn't get to play as much sevens as she perhaps like, but she looks an absolute natural.
And credit to Lisa Thompson again there, that you saw the feed from one Scot to another. She's another one that's really impressed through the course of the game so far. Ireland with their, should we say, premier starting seven. They put out a very young side in that first outing against France to give them important minutes experience. And of course allowing the other girls just to have something of a break. Eve Higgins was another one that sat out. Lucy Mulhall, Stacey Flood. Sarah Cox laying down the law early on at the breakdown. Lots of these Irish girls have really picked up so much important experience. I mentioned Stacey Flood there. She went out with Heffernan and I think Claire Bowles out to Australia, played for Bond University. I noticed Bond University got their first 7 Series crown this weekend, so they'll no doubt be pleased to see that. But the chance to play rugby around the world, to get a variety of experience, so important.
And what a prospect that tournament is as well, to integrate their top end players in university teams. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a template that you hope that other countries are able to replicate. Lloyd sets back and suddenly there's nobody in front of her, and Rona Lloyd is going to go in for a double. Well, that's her 5th try of the weekend, and the Irish defence being opened up a little too easily from Aidan McNulty's liking.
It's just a threat of having someone with genuine pace, normally found on the end of the line, but here midfield, because she can beat those 3 defenders over chasing, hits the gap, and then that semi-line break, all she needs is half a metre in behind the defence, and if you're the fastest player on the pitch, you're not going to be caught. Really nice work, looking for the space, could go on the outside but doesn't want to, and because of her threat, 4 players left in her way. She's up there as MVP so far, Rona Lloyd, outstanding across this whole tournament.
Mo Hunt with the restart. Kwanzaa unable to take securely, although I'm not sure that went the requisite distance in any case. Either way. Oh, just as I was about to say, Mulhall will get Ireland going for the first time. The slippery ball evades her grasp and the moment is gone temporarily.
She tries to do it on the fly. The run and the tap. A bit of Gaelic football about it, wasn't it? Not able to hold it.
Well, she's a good Gaelic footballer. That's her background, Lucy Mulhall. So yeah, that won't be a surprise to her. But yeah, the conditions just working against her.
Wrong size ball.
Oh yeah, very much so. Aitchison. Hannah Jones out to Lloyd, but Ireland double ganging the Scottish winger there. Hunt. Abby Burton. Ireland getting the breakdown, and I think it was Lisa Thompson just being marched back, in fact marched off. She's going to get a yellow card for that, not allowing the quick penalty to be taken.
2 minutes on the sideline. Sarah Cox, the enforcer of law, and good call here to make the scrum. Often people just look for that quick tap. Takes a bit more time from this, but you've now got to think this GB team have to defend with 6, and the Irish can overload one side with GB having a play either side. So Aitchison and Rona Lloyd trying to cover the sides. This is a difficult idea. You've got to make sure Mo Hunt makes that tackle, stay on your feet and push across.
Hunt immediately breaks out to try and get Mulhall, but Mulhall steps inside her. Lucy Mulhall takes Ireland into the GB 22 for the first time in this game. And we Lane finding no way through. Kept moving though by Burns. Good tackling from Abby Burton. Penalty was already given though. Mulhall a little safer with that tap. Stacey Flood with a little chip over the top. Higgins goes for glory. Just knocking forward, just missing out there. Good ideas.
Great idea, good execution, just unfortunate with that bounce. I'll tell you what, you've got to give credit to Sarah Cox. She's like a hawk. She just sees everything right on the spot. Brilliant refereeing. Slide, not back, deemed to be forward. It's unfortunate. Higgins looked like she just managed to tap it backwards, but like I say, you're not going to get better positioning. Sarah Cox from there. So it's a long way now for the GB women looking up. They're going to see plenty of options. See how tight they are behind. Means they're probably likely to look for a short line to still have that option to kick it long. They've got the pace.
Well, the Irish scrum really working hard. Good work from those three. Stacey Flood with the quick pass. Well, it's half time. That try hasn't been given, and
the knock on.
There was a knock on, I think, in the act of trying to score that try. Sarah Cox right on top of it. Let's just take a look at that.
Just knocked on, got caught cleanly. 2 in 2 minutes in that bottom corner. Got the mulligan, but couldn't get the score again.
Well, at the moment, it's GB who have the scoreboard. 12 points to 0 they lead, but this match is getting tighter and tighter, and Rona Lloyd's double. Loughborough Lightning striking twice once again. As the heavens begin to open once more, and it hasn't doused GB's positivity when they get ball in hand, and certainly when the hands belong to Rona Lloyd.
It's amazing how it changes your whole dynamic as a team when you have genuine speed on both sides of the pitch. It means you can be so much more balanced now you want to play here. Everybody overshoots thinking she's going to go on the outside, cuts back on the inside. Really astute attacking. There's such awareness. She's looking up. It's another big thing. You're not blinkered as an attacker. If you look where the defence is going, often said to keep an eye on the hips, because once the hips are turned, you cannot change to make that tackle. Not have an option to put the boot on the ball, but unfortunately not able to be taken in the corner, and that was the first of the 2 knock-ons, even though it did get thumbs up for the in-goal official there. It's a really unfortunate bounce, isn't it? You just hope it went that one more revolution, she would have got in.
Sarah Cox right on top of play there, and here was that last call.
So it's like a half volley, isn't it?
Yeah,
you'd be going up to the third umpire if that were in cricket.
Wouldn't want to be giving that catch out, that's for sure. But there's the scoreboard as it stands now at the beginning of the second half, and Ireland's final half of Sevens action for this weekend coming up now.
See a bit more tactics at the restarts. It's so important to get the kick right, give the jumpers chance, trying to land it just in front of Stacey Flood, I imagine.
Hunt finds the right club, Burton unable to get the bat back that she was hoping for. Ireland will get the put in.
It's those finer details. The casting eye of James Rodwell just behind the assistant referee in the background on the right hand side. Master of the restarts, and he's really brought that brilliant dimension to the way the GB women play.
Secure line out. Emily Lane trying to challenge those GB defenders to step out of line. Strong leg drive from Stacey Flood. And going a bit laterally, Higgins is going to have to stay strong in the contact there. Mulhall, always happy to challenge the opposition, Lucy Mulhall. Mo Hunt up to the challenge on that occasion, but Ireland beginning to just make a little headway over the gain line. Burns, Mulhall, Lane, Higgins is outside, here she is, Higgins against Lloyd, Kwanzaa trying to get across, but not enough time to catch Eve Higgins, and Higgins at last gets Ireland on the board.
And plenty of credit scored on that side of the pitch. You mentioned Lloyd and Kwanzaa both chasing, not able to stop her. As we see, nice little drawn defence. Lloyd commits to it, and Kwanzaa manages to overshoot from the inside, but still not able to stop her. It's really good attacking play. Emily Lane drawing and then giving. Because she engages the defender, just withholds that space out wide. And yet another St George slide.
5 minutes to go in this game, and the 1 score difference now on the scoreboard. Just to remind you, join us at 3:45 when Rob Vickerman will reveal his choices for the GB men's and women's teams. We'll have a quick discussion on it. You can have a look and make your comments on it as well.
Yeah, get them in. YouTube comments welcomed.
It's been a very interesting audition weekend, I would suggest.
And you've got to think these are such vital minutes. Clearly we know the wider world not in a great place for live sport going on, so first and foremost wonderful to be here showing the pictures, and always nice to hear where people are watching from around the world. But priceless minutes on the pitch. Scott Forrest, James Wadwell in discussion after every game about, as you say, that credit in the bank, who's gone well, who perhaps has done something slightly unusual, and why, and those combinations all important in the big games.
Mulhall, Hunt coming across, but Higgins gets the ball away. I think that's Megan Burns out wide on that left, unable to just pull it in first time. Emily Lane tries to get the offload in the contact, but it just evades her teammate there, and it's going to give GB a chance to catch their breath.
Breath very much needed, Wardy. What an effort has been across these 3 days. More rugby, more sevens than they're used to. Rarely play a 3-day event on the 7 series, and the women have been really stepping up. It's been brilliant to see so much action.
2 games a day for the last 3 days for these teams. Invaluable miles in the tank, so to speak, in terms of stamina. But it's something, as Luke keeps saying, you cannot replicate in training. Thompson. And Ireland really holding GB inside their own 22, lassoing any ambition that they've got from there. And here come the Irish. The burst through from Katie Heffernan. Opportunity here, surely. Another penalty goes to Ireland. And they're over. Well, finally, all that pressure pays off. I think it was Emily Lane at the end of that. One of the smallest players on the pitch.
It did look like it, and that was a real case of being patient. Yet she spots the chance, puts the head down.
Good
brave enough
work
to
from
score
the
it.
little halfback, and it's in a good position for this conversion. No problems from Mulhall. And here we go.
Yeah, fine. Just put down, then bounced. As you say, diminutive, but that is bravery of the highest order.
Well, here we go. Nothing between these two. Who's going to take the last couple of minutes and make it theirs?
Comes down to the restart again. Ireland playing with these tactics, trying to move players around. Mulhall needs to execute.
Goes downtown with the restart. Chloe Rowley into the mix now. Lloyd looking for a hat-trick, looking for a win for her team. Remember my number, because you ain't going to remember my face. Rona Lloyd goes in for a hat-trick, only the second hat-trick of this weekend. And could that be the critical score for GB in this match?
Still time on the clock, but as you say, a transitional score to give him that edge. You might not remember her face, as you say, Wardy, but you remember her head. Because once this cocks back, you know she's going for it. Slowly creeping, and in she comes. Leg speed, stride length, a real sprinter. And got close enough to the post to make a difference.
Well, the conversion I don't think has gone over. So, I think it's a 5-point difference as we're into the last minute of this game, and what a game it's been. Oh, GB with the unforced error, getting ahead of Aitchison as she took that kick. So, here is the opportunity. Mulhall sees a big gap at the back. It's a foot race. Who's going to get there first? Mulhall's footballing skills have paid off, and the Irish skipper has got themselves a chance to win this game with the conversion. What a virtuoso score from Lucy Mulhall.
Well, look at the celebrations. That's absolutely fantastic. Talk about a kicking threat. You said about a Gaelic football background, Woody, and that came into its own there. Recognises all the space in behind. Irish rugby, you need to celebrate this woman. What a player she is. Cometh the moment, and there's the touch. Keeps the balance and poise, puts it down so close to the sticks.
And Mulhall kicks the conversion that gives Ireland that last gasp victory. Well, what a match it has been between two very, very good sides. But huge, huge kudos to the Irish women with that victory. They fell at the hands of GB yesterday and on the first day, but they've come back as the Irish men did before them. Ireland head back to their homeland with victory under their belt, and what a special win that was.
It's been fantastic. Girls in green matching what the men did. And at this point, it's worth saying for people watching around the world, want to make a bit of noise about this. Ireland have the potential to be an amazing Sevens programme. Union can back it, support it. They've got university and club structure, provinces, everything ties into this Irish Sevens setup to be the spearhead of their performances. And when you see performances like that from the men and the women, get those drums banging. It's been brilliant from every single player in green over these 3 days.
Well, I'm just hearing now interesting news from the officials that GB conversion was given, and it's going to end up as a 19-all draw. So I take it back in terms of getting the win. Still huge kudos to the Irish side, but it's the first draw we've had this weekend.
And we said all along, we understand people like to see a result, but you talk about performances there. That for me was a really, really positive Irish performance. The points difference showing how well that the French have gone in their performances, but for me the Irish and their development.
Yeah, just the one win for Ireland, and that really doesn't tell the tale of this weekend at all from the ladies in green. They have got a lot more out of this than that one shows. France, well, with that draw, France will end up top of the log in terms of points, because of course you get 1 point for a loss as well. So even if they lose that last game to GB, they will be above their hosts. There's the results that we've seen so far. Well, despite the weather, it has been captivating Sevens rugby. Great to see people back on the park, and thank you for all your support, all your messages that have been coming in over social media, particularly the YouTube channel. It has been, well, a wonderful weekend. We've still got more rugby to come, of course. GB have not finished yet. The GB men will be up against the USA at 4 o'clock, and those ladies there will be up against their French counterparts just after 20 past 4. So please join us again. Well, as I say, 3:45 we'll be discussing Rob Vickerman's selections for those GB squads. Join us then for the final chapter of Sevens Rugby on this International Rugby Sevens weekend here at St George's Park. Bye.